Yo, what's good guys? Today we'll be making the most delicious buns slash dinner rolls ever. Keep watching to learn how. So, to begin, you're going to add 1.5 cups of warm water to your bowl. Now if your water is too hot, the yeast might die, so make sure to let it sit for a minute or so before adding the yeast. Now the second thing you want to be adding is the honey. This honey acts as the food for the yeast and helps it grow while resting and baking. A teaspoon or so will work for this recipe. You want to then mix it in as you can see I am doing, and also if you want to replace the honey with sugar, equal parts will do just fine. Then you can go ahead and add your 1.25 tablespoons of active dry yeast. Then you're going to mix that up. Once that's done, you can let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes. Next, you'll want to add your butter to the frothy yeast. This butter not only acts as more flavor, but also helps keep the buns moist days after. Then you can go ahead and add some of your flour to the yeast mixture, and of course, the secret ingredient, baking powder. This adds that extra fluffy, soft texture that you're seeking from a bun. A teaspoon or so of this will be more than enough. Add a half teaspoon of salt to that, and you can start mixing. Now you might be asking why not add all of the flour at once? Well, by adding the flour in sections you can tell how much more you'll need rather than adding it all at once and end up not needing it. This is because all over the world flour is different. It absorbs differently, meaning we'll all end up needing different amounts of flour. So I needed a little under 3 cups of flour, have that at the ready, but know you might need more or less depending on your flour. So mix that well and then add more as you will see I do. Eventually, you're going to need to stop using that spoon as the mixture will begin forming a dough. That's when you can throw that spoon away and get kneading with your hands. Now, as you can see, I'm pulling the corners of the dough into the middle and repeating with all sides. This helps stretch the dough and build its structure. You most likely will need to add more flour to this in order to get that smooth ball or close to that smooth ball that we're looking for. So you'll be kneading for about 8 to 10 minutes, but with that time the dough will become strong enough to hold its shape in the oven. Once you're done kneading, make sure to coat the bowl with some oil to prevent sticking, and then cover that with some plastic wrap and a nice tea towel. As you can see, the dough stuck to my bowl and was hard to get out, so make sure to oil your bowl well. You can fix that up with a little flour and smoothing it out a bit after that. You'll want to go ahead and cut that in half with a knife, and take either half and cut it into 4. This recipe makes 8 buns, so if you want more, double the recipe or make them smaller. Next, you want to fold all the corners into the middle and place that side down on the cutting board, then roll it with the palm of your hand. You want the bottom to be a bit sticky so that when rolling, all of the corners glue together to make one smooth bottom. It may be a little bit of time, but it is worth if you want that smooth texture. Here's from another angle, just rolling it in a circle. Then you can go ahead and repeat that with all of your dough balls and set aside. After that, you're going to place them on a baking tray with a sheet of parchment under that. You can cover them with a little bit of plastic wrap and a tea towel. You're going to give them just a little rise for about 10 minutes or so as we make the egg wash and preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Egg wash is quite simple. All you're going to need is one whole egg and a good splash or two of water to loosen up the egg. You can mix that with a spoon or a basting brush and then just set that aside. Next, take off the plastic wrap and tea towel and generously cover the resin buns with some egg wash. This egg wash gives the buns a final glossy texture that we all know a bun has. After that, you can go ahead and place them into the oven and cook for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the tops have lightly browned. Pull them out and brush onto each of them a little bit of melted butter. That's going to add a final layer of gloss to the buns and also supply them with moisture days after. And then you're done. You've successfully made the best buns ever. Now, once they cool, if you want to keep their soft texture, you can go ahead and store them in an airtight container for about a week at room temperature. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to pop it a like.